Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. Last time I did a Keepers video from the Voice of America collection, but you guys enjoyed that, so I thought I'd do another one. Going into this collection when I was digging and everything, most collections I don't keep much. I'll keep one here, one there. And so going through the collection, I'm like, oh, I think I need that one. I think you need that one. And then when I got home and started pricing things and going through them, like these are all like the discs are near mint and they're significant. So I ended up keeping a lot more than I thought I was going to initially. So within that, I'm weeding out some of my old copies of stuff and then upgrading them to primo stuff. Which a lot of, like, even if it's like a VG plus copy, but this one's near mint, a lot of these, like, the story behind me getting them was so great that I'd prefer these. So anyways, but just a quick PSA, if you're local, the Voice of America collection, we're still pricing stuff out. I still have at least 10,000 records that I haven't put out yet that I'm pricing. I mean, I price it as fast as I can. We have a couple Whatnot shows coming up that'll be really big. A lot of great stuff we'll be putting in those shows. And then we're also doing some big drops in the shop. I think next Saturday, we're going to, like, first Saturday of the New Year, we're going to do a huge drop in the shop. So anyways, for the Voice of America stuff, we're not done yet. We're still getting it. So, stay tuned for that. But these are the things that I'm keeping for my collection. I've pulled out a few hundred out of this collection just because there's a lot of records that I've been waiting to find a really clean copy of, and so I'll show you some of those in this collection. And then also there's promos, there's records that are really, really clean. So I got a stack here behind me. Let me pull these out first. But first one, I know that I briefly showed this in a video before. This is Funk Inc. This is a crazy good funk record, just nasty, funky. I mean, from start to finish, this is an incredible record. Usually when you find them, they got the real bad ring wear, and because they got played to death. They're so good. But this one looks like it's never been played. Really, really, really clean. This is one that I've had the chance to ultrasonically clean. Here's a Herbie Hancock Headhunters with the timing strip. Now, I don't know that they ever made white label promos of these, but this is just a regular label with a promo strip. But man, this is one of my all-time favorite records. And I've always kind of wanted a promo, and I've never even seen a promo. So when I found that, I was pretty stoked. This is John Berberian and the Rock East Ensemble, Middle Eastern rock. Really cool. This is about what you would think it is. There's a couple kind of Middle Eastern influenced rock albums from this era. I mean, I don't know if it was like the Beatles that kind of brought on the fusion between like sitars and like what are those tablas or whatever, those drums from the Middle East. But yeah, I mean, really, really cool stuff, and it's a fusion of that Middle Eastern style music and psychedelic rock. Very, very cool record. That one's pretty sweet. Wah Wah Watson, one of my absolute favorite funk guitar players. He's got such a specific, like, interesting, unique style when he plays. He's got this this thing, it drives me crazy. I love it. This gallop when he plays, like, well, he'll be playing, and it's just like the feel of it is so. If you listen to it, you'll know what I mean. But he played with Herbie Hancock in Herbie Hancock's kind of funk era, and then he also played with John Lee Hooker. Really, really amazing. His style is just impeccable. I love him, and I've never seen this record before. Been looking for it, and so found that. I found a couple copies of it actually, and it's tremendous. This is another funk record that I've been trying to find for years and never seen one. The Ohio Players, Observation in Time. Now, this was reissued with a different cover. It was like a black cover with like some designs and lightning bolts and stuff on it. But this is the first pressing. Super rare. Like I said, never even seen one of these, and this thing is unplayed, minty. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. But, the Ohio Players, really good time, funk. And this album is incredible. Love it. And the cover is like real almost psychedelic. It's great. I still need to clean that one. So I'm gonna show these in a minute. Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate. This is a promo. It's got the timing strip, and it's got there's like a hype sticker stuck to the back of it. And then it has like this booklet inside and all this stuff. But this is, I mean, it's a tough record to find clean. This is a really, really nice, clean copy. So I don't have a copy of this. It's one of those I've been waiting around for a clean one to pop up, and this one has got, you know, it's all the bells and whistles. It's clean. It's a promo. It's got all the stickers, all that stuff. This is one. Man, this is a killer one. Gloria Scott. What am I gonna do? So let me show you. I'll pull this out. This what's the song here? It's Love Me, Love Me, Love Me. Or it's Love Me, Love Me, Love Me, or Leave Me, Leave Me, Leave Me. That song, if you haven't heard that song, go listen to it. The intro of that is arguably the best funk, or well, it's not funk, it's like sweet soul. The intro to that is just like, oh my gosh. It's been sampled a little bit, but it's just such a smooth soul song, and it's so good. But this whole album is tremendous. If you like that, you know, female soul singer, it's incredible. Highly recommend that one. This record I've had 1,000 copies of, but this is the nicest one I've ever seen. Miles Davis on the corner, you know, it got partied with and stuff. This one has the timing strip on the bottom, the back there. But it's just really great, funky. Man, I mean, I love Miles Davis. I love all the jazz stuff, but this is just straight up funk, and it is extraordinary. I love this record. If it's not like an expensive record, it's not one of his pricey ones. I don't even remember what they go for, maybe 30, 40 bucks, something like that, but it's worth tracking down. It's been reissued, all that stuff. It's a great one. Let's see, I got some things sitting right here beside me. This is really cool. I might make a separate video about Abner Jay, but these Abner Jay records, Terrible Comedy Blues. This is the earliest one that I have in this stack. There's one that's earlier than this one that I didn't have, that I don't have. But Abner Jay was this really interesting blues player and singer. There's a lot of folklore surrounding his life. I'm thinking I'm going to make a whole separate video about him because he's such a fascinating figure in blues. So unconventional and unique. Really, really cool blues guy. His music is a mixture of like stand-up comedy, storytelling, and blues, and it's fantastic. He plays banjo, he plays guitar, he plays the cowbones. So really, really cool. So this one's really tough to find. And these are all like near mint, beautiful copies. When I was digging through the first trip, the owner there, he said, there's a box of blues stuff somewhere. And I looked and looked and looked and never saw it. And I was like, I mean, I love blues. I collect blues heavily. And so the second time around where I was going to be able to see everything, I was looking and looking and looking, didn't see it. And then all of a sudden, it was in the last hour I was there, I found it. And I was like, yes. But I went through everything, so I was going to find it if it was there. Here's another one. Abner Jay, the one-man band. Sings and plays Stephen Foster favorites. Great stuff. These two covers are just like so DIY, so cool. True Story of Dixie. Look at him. He would play his kick drum too. That's why he was self-proclaimed one-man band, is he could play drums and guitar and sing and all that stuff. This is Swanee Water and Cocaine Blues. But man, I mean, if you could you can stream all this stuff. I'm not really big on spoken word stuff normally, but it's just so good. I mean, he'll tell a story, like a very short story, or it'll turn it into a joke most of the time. But really cool, and then he'll sing a blues song about it. So Abner Jay, I think I'm gonna make a whole separate video about his life because there's so much there, and he's such a cool individual. Those are very cool records. George Benson, Giblet Gravy. Man, let me tell you, this is a really, really good George Benson record. If you can find this, if you ever see this, pick it up. It's fantastic. It's got Billy Cobham on drums. Herbie Hancock plays on this. Who else? A bunch of people. A bunch of like huge. Pepper Adams plays on it. Anyways, really, really good jazz guitar record, and it's just yeah, hard to find. Don't see this very often. This is on Verve, and this is a super clean copy. Let me see. Is it a promo? I don't think so, but it's beautiful. Speaking of blues, this one is very cool. This is Lead Belly's. What's it called? Lead Belly's Last Sessions. And this is part 2. Part 1 is also in there, but this is the first pressing, 1953, and it comes like an old box set. These again are not like huge money or anything, but just really nice, clean. It's got the insert with it. Sometimes you'll find them ripped, the spine's ripped off and they're ripped in half, and so you only get half of it. And you're like, what is this? Because it's the same thing on the front as on the back. But there was a volume 1 and a volume 2. Lead Belly, one of the, I guess, originators of popular blues. Blues has been sung for hundreds of years, but yeah, I mean, Lead Belly, kind of same type of thing. A lot of spoken word storytelling along with his blues, but man, this is really cool. And volume 1 is actually, I believe it's in like an actual box, but I have it. I need to pull it out and show it. But this is volume 2, and it is super cool. This is 1953, so cool to have something that old and significant. Here's one. A lot of things I'll show are not like super grails or anything, but it's just, again, I've been searching for a clean copy. Chris Christopherson, The Silver-Tongued Devil and I. Really good. And this is a $5 record all day long. You can get these probably, maybe even in the dollar bin. But Chris Christopherson, he is in that same camp as the singer-songwriter, Townes Van Zandt type arena. And he is, he was always a little bit more mainstream popular. I mean, a lot more mainstream popular and all that stuff. But some really great songwriting on this record. And it's one that I'm always like, yeah, I'll get a clean copy. I'll get a clean copy eventually, whatever. I mean, because they pass through the shop all the time. And since this one was Voice of America, there was like, I think there was 4 or 5 copies in there. I was like, yeah, I'll keep one. It's super clean. Ruth Copeland, Self-Portrait. This is an incredible record. I think I found 3 copies of this. Sold one on the shop, one on Whatnot, and then I kept one. Amazing stuff if you collect Parliament, Funkadelic type stuff. She was in that realm. All the players from Funkadelic kind of aided and helped out, but this has Eddie Hazel and Dennis Coffey playing on this record. So anything with Eddie Hazel, anything with either one of them, but Eddie Hazel especially, anything with him, you gotta have it. But really, really good. Female vocal driven funk rock is what I would kind of call it. But you might have seen her other record. She has another record. This is 1970. The other one came out in 1971, and it's she's wearing like a Native American outfit on the front. This one predates that one, and it's also very, very good. Both records are tremendous. All right, let's see where we're going here. Here's another one. Been looking for a clean copy, and I have never found a really pristine copy of this in a God and a Vita. This is another one you find for $5 all the time, maybe $10 if it's clean. This one is spotless. It is impeccable. It's beautiful. The condition is stunning. It is, so I'm like, hey, I gotta get it. I gotta keep it. Let's see, that one's gonna get shown with that one. Sorry, I've got a little rhythm here. Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Found a few of hers. This is on Savoy. This is another one on Savoy. But really good gospel blues. Fantastic guitar player. Yeah, this one's on Verve. But actually, speaking of Abner Jay, he was her manager for a little bit, which is kind of funny. But her records, I never see them. And so seeing all those in one spot, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep those for sure. This is one I didn't expect to find. And actually, when we were digging, I never saw. There's some boxes that I bought that I never looked at. At the end of buying, picking out what I wanted, and the first time around, he's like, "All right, I need to make some space." There's a whole row, and there's a row of pallets of records, and he's like, "Make me an offer on this whole row." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know." And so we made a deal on. I mean, it must have been 5 to 7 thousand records just sitting there, and I was like, oh. So we made a deal, kind of a gamble on those, and I brought them home. And there's a lot of stuff in there that's cheaper stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that's good stuff too. And so I think it did okay. But this was in there, which I've never seen one of these before. But this is the U.S. version of Blood Sugar Sex Magik. The first, like, this is a promotional thing. So the first pressing of Blood Sugar Sex Magik, they did it in Europe, but they did not do them over here at all on vinyl. And so this is the first U.S. pressing, the only original U.S. pressing of Blood Sugar Sex Magik. Is very rare. And it's just a very plain. The only thing to this is it's a white label promo. But the only thing to this is it is censored for radio. So if you if you don't like your dirty words bleeped, a lot of people don't like that. This is probably not for you. But this is an album. I absolutely love this record. I'll collect any version of it I don't have. I have an original, like, European press, and then, I've got some reissues of it, I think. But this is very cool. When I saw that, I was like, what? It's a pretty rare one, and just one of those. I know a lot of people talk smack about Red Hot Chili Peppers, but amazing musicianship. Another one, I did not have a Queen 2 in my collection, and this one is a promo, man. I'm a sucker for that red and black Elektra promo label, or sticker. Look at that white label. Real clean white label promo. And so, obviously, I'm going to keep it. This is one of Queen's best. I do have, bands like this, classic rock bands, that their records come around a lot. I'll try to get like a promo or a really, really super clean copy or something. So I'm getting promos of all these Queen records. So I'm like, finally, I can have all the Queen records. Because when people come over, sometimes they're like, play Queen or Journey or whatever. And I'm like, I don't have any of that. I just have really weird stuff. Jesse, Ed, Davis, Keep Me Coming. Man, it's fantastic stuff. This is a promo. It's got the timing strip. I don't think these came as white labels, but it does have demonstration, not for sale, stamped on the label. Found a handful of these. They've gone very fast, but tremendous stuff. Jesse Ed Davis was incredible Native American guitar player. He played with a ton of folks, and so he was very well known in the community of guitar players and that classic rock scene. So he had a ton of players on here, and just all his records are just star-studded lineup. So really good. If you like Little Feat, I think this is probably in that same type of sound that you might like. This is one, 90s country is really hit or miss for me. It's mostly miss, and I've had this record 100 times, but this one is signed. Many thanks to the VOA, Clint Black. That is cool. So I'm going to hang on to this one for a little bit. This one is, he's got that real, deep. I don't gravitate to this really. It's not one of those, but I do like it. I have to be in the right mood for it. So I'm going to show some more country stuff later in the video. This is a record that I'm ashamed to say I have not owned in the past 10 years. I love this album, but I've never had one. This is Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. And you can see there's a ring wear and stuff like that. This record, every time it comes in, it's always got ring wear. I've been kind of waiting around for a perfect copy, and I've never seen one. This one's definitely not a perfect copy, but it is a promo. It's got the stamp, and the disc is really clean, so I'm fine with it. For now, it's just I'm not, like, I got to get this record. There was a couple copies in there. I was like, I don't have this. I really should have this. Let's see where we're at here. I got a bunch of stuff. They're in like no particular order. Here is David Bowie, Hunky Dory. This is the original press with the textured sleeve. And these had the catalog numbers taped on top, but they fell off. So that's kind of what they look like when they fall off. You know, when we sell them, I've had a bunch of people ask, like, have you tried to get them off? Have you tried to take them off? You know, it depends on the texture of the cover. Some of them are hard to get off. Some of them are not. Some of them just peel right off. But for me, I just let whoever buys them decide if they want to take them off or not. I'm leaving them on mine because they're just cool. But this is the textured cover. Really clean. This has got the insert with it, the inner sleeve with it and all that stuff. It's hard to find these really clean and with that textured cover. They're tough to find in that condition. This was reissued a lot, but that original textured cover is tough to get. This is called Inside the Glass House. I didn't have this record before. It's pretty cool. It's on this Invictus label. A lot of great funk stuff on that label. But this one, it has like, it has a little bit of a gospel. I think it might be all gospel actually, but it's real funky, really, really good, funky, and a little bit on the gospel side, but it's not overbearing. Like it's not like a church record, you know what I mean? But when you're listening to it, you do hear some gospel undertones and stuff like that. But a really, really good funk record. Enjoyed that one a lot. I usually try to do like really good stuff at the front, so it kind of keeps you interested. But there's good stuff peppered all the way through here. Miles Davis, get up with it. This is a promo. I believe it's a white label, for sure. Yeah, white label. And it's super clean. There was a handful of these in there, and they've all sold. But this is a nice, clean white label promo. I love this era of Miles Davis. Some great players on here. But there's just like a lot more of a long form. There's like, it's so cool. I mean, it's really experimental, but not in a weird way. You know, some experimental stuff you're like, the experiment failed. That sucks. This is not that. This is very cool. A lot of good, like, M2 plays on this. Let's see who else. A bunch of great. Keith Jarrett. I believe, yeah, Herbie Hancock plays some of this. John McLaughlin plays a lot on this. So it's a really, really fun listen. Very different. A big departure. You know, a lot of his records were, you know, after he did like the hard bop and modal type stuff, he really went off and did some really interesting stuff. It's a very cool record if you don't have it. It's a double album. Love it. Eddie Floyd, Knock on Wood. It's on the Stax label. There's a series on HBO, and I'm kind of halfway through it, but it's very good about Stax. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very good. But Knock on Wood is just like one of those probably top 5 Stax tracks. You know, if you haven't heard it, when you push play on it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that song. Everyone's heard Knock on Wood. It is fantastic. This has a lot of the classic Stax lineup on it. You have Isaac Hayes on keys. You have, you know, Booker T. You have, yeah, it's well, Booker T and Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes plays the piano on this. But anyways, it's, I don't even, the lineup's not even on here, but anyways, there's other folks on there too. But yeah, really, really good, essential Stax listen. And I don't, this was reissued by Lot on Me Please, and we've had that in the shop a few times, but I don't think I've ever seen a clean original anywhere. So pretty cool to get that. It's not like a high dollar record or anything like that, but the originals are tough to find clean. This is a record that when I found it, I laughed out loud. I LOL'd when I found it because I thought of them playing this on The Voice of America, and it made me laugh. This is the last Slayer record that I need, Rain and Blood, and then I have them all, the original, and it has this contains language which may be unsuitable for some listeners. Taped permanently on the cover so they know, like they wouldn't know by the pentagram and, you know, evil symbolism, like, hey, maybe don't play this ever. You know, so anyways, they probably did. It probably didn't get much play, but someone played it at some point because you could tell it's been played. It's not, I mean, it's in great shape, but you could tell somebody whipped this thing out at some point. Maybe it was at 3 a.m. or something when they're like, man, these people overseas are going to love this. It's funny to see that it was in the Voice of America. That kind of makes it funny, but also I really kind of needed the record. So, Doc Watson, self-titled on Vanguard. This is the first pressing. Doc Watson is incredible. In the coming videos, I'll talk about a little bit more bluegrass, I think. But there is some really good bluegrass. I mean, people may turn their nose up at bluegrass, but Doc Watson, fantastic bluegrass player. There's a bunch of Tony Rice in there. I love Tony Rice so much. But if you're into the Billy Strings, like this there's a new wave of bluegrass coming through that people really like. You got to visit like Doc Watson, Tony Rice, and stuff like that. But this is a really, really tough one to find. This is a true first pressing of it. Merle Haggard and the Strangers, Swinging Doors. Great. I'm really kind of revisiting the whole Merle Haggard, Bakersfield sound type country. Really great, essential. Yeah, some people ask it don't get better than this in country music. Very good storytelling in these songs. I've had a complicated past with country music. I got my parents listened to it. Well, my mom listened to it a lot growing up, and I hated it. But she wasn't listening to Merle Haggard. She was listening to a bunch of other stuff. But and I swore, like, when I move out of this house, I will never listen to another country music album again. But I've always loved Johnny Cash. I've always loved, so I mean, and Townes Van Zandt is country music, so he's one of my absolute top favorites. So I've gotten back into going back and listening to more country music. Merle Haggard is one that I'm probably discovering too late in life. But, you get a ton of his records. Most of them aren't worth any money, but these early ones are very tough to find clean. So this one has a little bit of ring wear, but the disc is like near mint on it. So this one's a great one. When I went to Salina to visit Analog Productions, was talking to a bunch of guys there, and they all love this record, this James McCurdy, Too Long in the Wasteland. And they were like, you don't have this record, you have to get one. And I'm like, I don't have it. I don't ever see it, And it's just a really good singer-songwriter type thing. And I downloaded it and listened to it on the plane back. And I was like, man, that's so good. So I've been listening to it, streaming it, just kind of looking for a copy, and was stoked to find one. It's not an expensive record. I could have hopped on Discogs and got one for like $15-20, but I wanted to find it organically. Man, I'm really running out of time here. Willie Dynamite soundtrack, conducted by J.J. Johnson. J.J. Johnson did a ton of these really great. He scored, maybe he might not even played them, but he scored a lot of these really great blaxploitation funk soundtracks. Willie Dynamite is an absolute classic. Foxy Brown, Willie Hutch, featuring Pam Grier. Another really killer. I mean, Willie Hutch is fantastic anyways, but there's something so special about all these like funk soundtracks, man. I love them. I have a little collection of them. I got a lot in the Voice of America. There was a lot of like blaxploitation funk soundtracks that I was missing, and there were so many in here. So that's a huge one for me. As far as promos, laugh at me all you want. Electric Light Orchestra, Discovery. This is a white label. And this is one, I do love this album. I grew up listening to it all the time. I remember the first time I found a copy, it was in Salvation Army, and I was like, yes, because I just had wanted one. Miles Davis Live. That double timing strip promo. Killer stuff. This is, man, I love this era of Miles Davis. And a lot of jazz folks kind of are like, that's past his prime, but good stuff. Jose Chapito Arias. This is really great, like fusion jazz rock. He actually played with Santana previously. Really, really, really good stuff. If you like Santana, I think you would like this, but this is like a lot more funky than Santana. Willie Colon plays on this. Very, very cool. This is a tremendous, tremendous record. Highly recommend listening to, and it's not a huge one. It wouldn't break the bank. Fantastic stuff. Here we go. Finally get to show this. Rush 2112 white label promo. Look at that. Incredible. And I actually did not have an original of this. I had some audiophile reissue bullcrap, but this is an original first press white label promo, and it is super clean. And when I picked it, I actually didn't know it was promo. I was just like, oh, Rush, I'm gonna grab it. Same with this one, Caress of Steel. It is a white label promo. Beautiful stuff. I saw Rush live when I was a kid and loved it, but then never really got super into Rush. So for the past few years, I've been trying to get more into Rush because I love all the classic Rush tracks. Speaking of Bluegrass, Bela Fleck, Across in the Tracks, signed by him and Sam Bush. Very cool, and love Bela Fleck. So that was a no-brainer. I was going to get that. Let's see here. Should I show the rest of these? Screw it, why not? Here's one that everyone always asks for, and I never have it. And I had a couple of people that asked me if it was in the Voice of America, but there was only one copy, and that's AC/DC, Razor's Edge. I've bought over 1 million records in my life. No joke. I've never, ever had a copy of this in a collection, I don't think. That metal collection a few years ago, there might have been one in there, but it's a record that I never see a first U.S. pressing of, and that's what this is. It's beautiful, 1990, near mint. It's just one. I have never been able to find one, and I'm not going to go. It's one of those. I'm not going to go online to buy it. It's going to come through my hands at some point, so it was in there. Really great stuff. Miles Davis. Jack Johnson, great one with the timing strip. Same with like Blue Oyster Cult. Blue Oyster Cult is really hit or miss for me. I'm not a huge Blue Oyster Cult guy. I haven't been in the past. It's one of those bands you hear all the hits and you're like, yeah, whatever. But man, some of their early stuff is so good. It's so heavy. And I've been trying to get some of their earlier records, like really clean copies, because they come through the shop all the time, but hardly ever clean. These are some really super duper clean promo copies with the timing strips. Great stuff. This one I may or may not keep. Double timing strip, and then this one's a definite keeper. Agents of Fortune with the timing strip. Just a couple more left, guys. Thanks for being patient. This is kind of a long video. M2May, Kiss This World Goodbye with the timing strip. Some absolute killer boogie funkin'. Just greatness. Love this record. So nasty, so funky. And it's a promo. Herbie Hancock, Thrust. I have a quadraphonic version of this one. I don't really see myself needing a quadraphonic version of this, but if I ever do get a quadraphonic system, I could listen to this. But yeah, this is a great one with the timing strip. If you like Headhunters, you'll love this. It's really nasty, funky if you haven't heard it. Thrust, fantastic Herbie Hancock. And then last one is this Ramsey Lewis Funky Serenity. A lot of Ramsey Lewis stuff is kind of to me it's not great. This one is really great, really funky. Love this record, and actually listened to it a lot while I was digging through everything, because I was like, well, I'd like see a record and be like, I need to listen to that, and I'd pull it up on my phone and have it in my headphones and listen to it because there's no music. It was just dead silent in there. So that was one that I listened to a lot. So anyways, thank y'all for watching this video. Thanks for commenting, all that stuff. I love to be able to share my finds with this collection, and I'm grateful that you guys care. So Happy New Year. Thanks for all the support this year, and we'll see you guys next time.